Hi guys, it's Mother Goose here, raw and real. I'm going to be doing a talk today on relationship and why what happens in a relationship happens between a husband and wife after they've been married for a while I'm making bread. So I will explain to you. Women like to create relationship with anything and everything that's around them. We are not black and white. We are not we don't like open the fridge, take the water, and close it. We don't go in the kitchen, do one thing, and come out. We create an intertwined connection with everything. And I'm going to be making bread while talking to you. This is my very, very easy recipe. It's 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of dry yeast, 1 4 of a cup of warm water, and you mix it and you wait until it like foams up like this. Then you add to it 3 cups of flour. So as I was saying, so by woman, we create relationship with everything we do, with our book that we read, with the work that we do in the kitchen. We simply create connection and sense of bonding with everything. And that's how a woman were created from the beginning. We believe that women were created from the side of the man, whereas the man was created from earth. Yeah, the earth. The earth, if you think about it metaphorically, like the flower, it's very simple. It is what it is. It's right there and shows it to you. But the earth on its own, it's not sufficient. It's not something that you can eat. It's not something that you can get sustenance from. In order even to make bread, you need minimum. You need water, right? And woman would be more like water, H2O. There's more than one ingredient. So women are more interconnected. They have a sense of belonging, meaning, and bonding. And in order for a woman to feel happy and sustenance, she needs to notice that you are noticing her and making her feel that sense of belonging. So we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of salt to our ingredient, and then 1/4 of a cup olive oil. Olive oil makes it taste really good. So 1/4 of a cup, like you don't have one, you take your 1 cup and divide it into four, and then take one portion of it. So for a woman, when she wakes up in the morning, it's not just about waking herself up and doing the task. It's about everything else that she needs to take care of. So in order for a woman to feel that sense of love and connection and belonging, for her, it's about being noticed. It's about being recognized. It's about noticing that you're noticing her. That's what gives her the best sense of belonging, is when she notices that you notice her. So for a woman, men, whereas the man, it's more about the respect that makes them feel good. For a woman, it has to do more with that sense of acknowledgement and appreciation. For women, appreciation is the number one factor to finding closeness, making her feel desired, making her feel loved. So if she doesn't have that, that's what makes her feel fall apart, that her effort is not being noticed or acknowledged. So if your dough gets sticky like this, you could just take a little bit more of dough and pour flour and mix it in, and that will make it less sticky. If it's very, very dry as you're mixing it, then what you want to do is you take a little bit of water at a time, you add it in. You don't ever want to do it too much, because then you can overdo it and ruin your dough. As I was saying, so for women, they love to know they are connected to you. So when in a marriage, when the husband becomes the silent spouse, just like a passenger, kind of like in a bus, that's what kills her. That's what makes her feel very disconnected and unnoticed, because she feels like she's no longer making a difference in your life and you're not noticing her as much. And for a man, it's the respect. When the things he does makes no difference for you, that's when they feel like they don't matter. So what happens a lot of times in marriage is people are excellent. They are fantastic at offering these during dating, during engagement stage, during when they just meet each other. For some weird reason, they think that when they get married, they could go back into being themselves and things are just going to continue to be. So I have an example right here. Marriage is like oil and water in a bottle, right? As long as you have an effort of making movement and connection, the oneness is easy, right? And it's good at times to have alone time as well. It's always good in every relationship that people should get comfortable with having hobbies, having activities, having things that they enjoy. It's very, very important and makes a big difference. So, what happens when you leave it completely? You leave the relationship and you just take care of the task, take care of the business, take care of what needs to get done. What happens is that relationship drifts apart, the oil goes into its own place, the water goes into its own place, and they completely get separated, and the separation gets worse and worse. So in order for you to create that connection and interdependency of each other, you need to make sure to that you have the effort in there. If you don't have the effort, your marriage will fall apart. What I mean by that, your healthy marriage of thriving and growing and connected will fall apart. There are many, many people who live together as a husband and wife in one home, and they're not divorced, but they are more emotionally divorced than even some divorced couples. So just because a husband and wife live in one home does not necessarily mean they're modeling a good, healthy relationship. A good, healthy relationship is where there is me, there is you, there's us, and there's us as a family. There's time that we connect, we laugh, we have a good time. There's time we have our separate time. We support each other, we love each other, we connect with each other. Our marriage needs to be a constant movement that I'm putting effort in, just like how I was trying to make my dough. If I would just put in my ingredient and do nothing, I would end up with nothing of my mixtures in there. But because I put the effort and I mixed it, I got myself a dough, right? And then now I have to let it rest before I can get to cook it. At the end, I also added fourth of a cup oil. So in order for me to be able to cook it, I have to let it rest and then I can mix it. So my message to you today is, if you want to have a meaningful, successful, happy marriage, first and foremost, you need to start with yourself, right? With the self. Learn about your ways, that things that trigger you, that bother you, what your attachment style is. Learn to be comfortable also at times with being alone, creating creativity with your alone time, being productive with your alone time when your spouse might be busy. Learn about ways that make you feel connected and belong. Get into the habit of using I statement, referring to your feelings versus factual information. You made me upset. You made me feel mad. You hurt me. You did this. You did that. Instead of that, take ownership of your emotions. Make sure it's more about what's happening with you, like in a more of a calming way rather than going into an attack, because once you speak in an attack way, nobody's going to be listening to you. And the more you learn to thrive and to be the best version of yourself and connect with your godly power and connect with your inner self and learn about the amazing abilities you have within you. And instead of using your relationship as a crutch, as a band aid that every time you fall apart, they have a responsibility to fix it, you'll notice a huge help. Marriage is supposed to be a holding space for us to grow and be the best version of ourselves while we offer support to our partner and grow together. That is how we make our marriage amazing and wonderful. It's not simple, it's not easy. It takes hard work, but once you do it right, it's very powerful. Thank you for watching. I'm going to let this sit for about like 20 minutes and then going to shape it and cook it.